We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And by our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and check them out at www.crowdplayapp.com for details. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cage My IQ. I'm your host D-Bake. Today we will be previewing PFL Week 6, which will be headlined by Kayla Harrison going up against Sydney Dandois in a nice main event to see who moves on into the playoffs of the PFL in the heavyweight division and then the women's lightweight division. But let's get started with the action right here. We got 4 main card fights on here. One thing to get noted with here is the heavyweight division has been decimated by injuries and guys getting withdrawn from here. As you know, Fabricio Verdun had to withdraw due to injury and he got replaced. And then Muhammad Usman also got replaced. And then Israel, the last champion for the heavyweight division for PFL, hasn't been able to make a debut, and he got removed from PFL for this year. So let's hope he comes back and tries to make a run of it next year, since he didn't get a chance to this year. But let's get started with the action right here. We got the first matchup, which is a heavyweight bout between Denis Goltsov, who has 6 points right now after a first-round TKO over his opponent in his first matchup, going up against Brandon Sayles, who has 5 points after a second-round knockout victory over his opponent, Muhammad Usman, in his first matchup. This is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. First, you got Gosoff, who is 31 years old, fighting out of St. Petersburg, Russia. He weighs 240 pounds. He's 6'5" with a 78-inch reach, and he fights out of Sambo Peter gym and then Ermac gym, whereas Brandon Sayles fights out of Fort Benning, Georgia. Of course, he's a military brat, so of course that he's still in the military right now. They allowed him to be on leave so he could do the PFL this year. He's 40 years old, 264 pounds, 6'5", with a 79.5-inch reach, and he fights out Fighters United Gym. And I like this matchup where Brandon Sayles is going to have the height advantage, of course, just by a little bit, and then a little bit of reach. But then for this division, he's one of those guys that uses the leg kicks really well. He was able to piece up Usman with the leg kicks, and then his strikes are a very underrated part of his game. Whereas Gosoff has that Sambo background. He could take guys down to the ground if he wanted to, but his striking is really a strong point, as you can tell by his TKO victory. I just think in this matchup, he's gonna use that to his advantage. Sayles will have the leg kicks. He's going to try and utilize a little bit more, but look for Gosoff to finish this in the second round. I think the first round is going to be more of a feel for both of them, and they're going to feel each other out. You're going to see Sayles use a leg kick here and there, and then Gosoff try to go for a takedown and either get it or not get it, and then keep the fight on the ground. But in the second round, I feel like Gosoff is going to get a TKO victory to push him the first in the heavyweights to move to 12 points and then make it to the playoff round for PFL 2021. I should feel like he has the more explosive striking, and then he can connect on what Usman should have gotten in his matchup against Sayles, but Usman came in with a bad game plan. He had wide open shots but didn't take them, and all of his takedown were stuffed, whereas I think Gosoff could get his because he has a better Sambo background that pushes people backwards to get their opponent on the ground. So look for Denis Goltsov to get the victory by second round TKO and then move to first place with 12 points in PFL heavyweight standings. And the next match we got up here is a featherweight matchup between Lance Palmer, who has 0 points after a loss to Bubba Jenkins in the first round, going up against Movlid Kaibaloff, who got 3 points in his first fight with a dominating performance on his fight, where he basically had to fight on the ground for almost the whole fight. Didn't do too much other than just like throwing punches and elbows, and he basically kept the fight to the ground. And he's going to present a very good challenge with Palmer, as well as the opposite. Palmer's going to present Movlid a very good matchup. But to look at the fight card, you got Lance Palmer, who is 34 years old, 145 pounds, 5'5" with a 69-inch reach, fighting out Team Alpha Male Gym, whereas Movlid is fighting out Moscow, Russia. He's 30 years old, 145 pounds, 5'5" with a 70-inch reach. And then he fights out Fight Nights Team Gym and then Eagles MMA Academy Gym. He is a protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov. As you know, Khabib is the big time Sambo specialist, and he trains Movlid, so you can expect more of the same for Movlid as you do Khabib. Palmer's going to try and use his wrestling to combat that. It's pretty decent with his hands, but he's been looking a little slow this year. And I just feel like in this, it's do or die for him, where he needs to get a finish to move on, because with 3 points, he's not going to make it. So I can see him swinging and then go for it all in the first couple of rounds. Whereas Movlid, he already has 3 points. All he needs is a decision to move on, because 6 points would put him into the playoffs. So he has more of a leeway in this fight than Lance Palmer does. So I can see him using Lance Palmer's aggressiveness to his advantage, where he's going to wait for him to strike. He's going to take him down, hold him down, and then he's going to just do his ground and pound, and then hold him with the technique to keep him from Palmer from doing anything. I think in the long run, that's going to work out. And I have Movlid win this by unanimous decision victory, which is going to give him the 3 points to move him to 6 points, which will put him into the playoffs at that 4th spot, where he could face off with Brendan Lomain in the first round of the playoffs, which would be a great matchup for both guys. But for this one, I got Movlid Kaibaloff by unanimous decision victory over Lance Palmer. In the co-main event of the evening, we have a lightweight matchup between Anthony Showtime Pettis, who has 0 points after a loss to Clay Collard, going up against Raush Manfio, who has 3 points after a split decision victory in his first matchup in the PFL. First, you got Anthony Showtime Pettis, who fights out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's 34 years old, 156 pounds, 5'10", with a 72.5-inch reach advantage. And then he fights out of Rufus Sport MMA Academy Gym. Then you got Raush Manfio. He fights out of Porto Alegre, Brazil. He's 29 years old, 156 pounds. He's 5'9", with a 73-inch reach, and he trains out Team Nogueira Gym. This is a matchup where either guy has a chance to make it into the playoffs, because in the lightweight division, there's four guys tied for the last couple of spots with 3 points. Anthony Pettis is going to look to go for the knockout no matter what, because that's why his name is Showtime. Whereas Raush Manfio has 3 points. If he were to just get a unanimous decision victory, he would be able to move on to the playoffs. So you're going to see more so Anthony Pettis try and go for the knockout, because he has all the skills. He has that Taekwondo background. He can hit you from with his legs, or he can strike with you, and he's going to try to put on a show. And then with that, Raush Manfio is going to have the better stylistic matchup to just get the fight to the ground and pressure him on the ground, keep him on the ground, and then try and get the unanimous decision victory just to sneak into the playoffs with 6 points, because that's all he has to do. He doesn't have to pressure anything. He just has to go in and eke out a decision victory just to move on. But in this, I feel like you're going to see the Anthony Pettis move back to form. I think he's going to hit him with a lot, get back to the basics, not try and do those crazy kicks and whatnot. And that's where he's lethal, when he gets back to the basics. He gets a lot of volume in. He throws, he's patient, and then he waits for the right shot to hit the home run ball, you would say. But I don't see him doing that in the first round. I see the first round being him just feeling Manfio, stuffing his takedowns, and then landing shots on him to get him a little groggy. But in the second round, I could see Anthony Pettis finish him with a knockout kick. He's going to fake with the punching shot, and he's going to go with the kick, which is going to stun him and put him down. And then I have Anthony Pettis winning by second round TKO, which will put him into the playoffs with this last second hurrah of a fight right here, since they were supposed to fight a couple weeks ago, but due to illness, he had to push his fight back 2 weeks. So for this one, I got Anthony Showtime Pettis by second round knockout. Now let's move on to the main event of the evening, which is a women's lightweight matchup between Kayla Harrison, who has 6 points after her first round and knockout of Miranda Moraes, going up against Cindy Dandois, who lost her first fight to Caitlin Young, and she only has 0 points. So this is a matchup where stylistically, actually, Cindy Dandois matches up well with Kayla Harrison. But let's get into the stats right here. First, we got Kayla Harrison. She fights out of New York City, New York. She's 30 years old, 155 pounds. She's 5'5" with a 65.5-inch reach, and she trains at Renzo Gracie Academy Gym. Then you got Cindy Dandois, who fights out of Doorn, Belgium. She's 36 years old, 153 pounds, 5'7" with a 70-inch reach, and then she fights out of Lynx MMA Gym. So off the bat, you see that Cindy Dandois has a small height and a small reach advantage over Kayla Harrison, but Kayla Harrison, obviously, she has the strength and the abilities to go in her favor. Dandois will be a threat to Kayla Harrison, having reestablished herself in the Belgian fight scene, as she has a well-rounded skill set. She's probably the second best person on the ground and in the clinch outside of Kayla Harrison, which is why I think this presents a unique matchup for Kayla Harrison, because she's going to have to do more work on stand-up than she is on the ground, because I think there's things that Cindy Dandois will be able to defend with Kayla Harrison, more so the judo throws and then the takedowns. But I think all in all, that's all that's going to be, is she's going to be able to defend a couple of things. But it's going to be hard to fight Kayla Harrison, because Kayla Harrison, she just is too strong. Not that she can take you down and then ground and pound you or submit you, but she can get you on the feet too. Her striking has been improving so much each fight that she has, especially with the special Invicta FC fight she was able to fight down at featherweight in November, where she was able to use her elbows. She was able to add that to her repertoire. She won't be able to use that in this fight, but I think getting that under her belt was able to be a good thing for her. And then her striking looked really well in that matchup. She was able to have her way, get a lot of volume in, and whenever she hits you, it hurts because it's a power strike from Kayla Harrison. And I think in this matchup, that's what's going to happen. She's going to finish this kind of early. Cindy will probably stuff 1 or 2 takedown attempts by Kayla Harrison, and Kayla Harrison's just going to go to town to her on the feet. And I think she's going to knock her down. And then when Cindy Dandois gets knocked down, Kayla Harrison is going to jump on her, get in the clinch, wind up getting in top guard, and then finish her by ground and pound. That's going to give her 6 points in the first round to move her to 12 points and give her that first seed in the playoffs, to where Kayla Harrison is going to be a threat to win once again in the PFL league for 2021. But give this to Kayla Harrison by first round ground and pound TKO, and I have her basically win the whole thing by not losing. So look for her to do that, and then my prediction is she's going to win it all. And then she's going to declare that she's going to test free agency and possibly sign with UFC or Bellator. That'll be it for the PFL Week 6 2021 preview show by yours truly, D-Bake. Yeah. Once again, this is Cage My IQ, the best place for MMA content. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch at the handles to the left. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're growing by leaps and bounds every day. We're trying to go for 200 subs now that we're over 120. If MMA is your stuff and you like preview and recap videos and interviews, Cage My IQ is the place for you to go. Let all your friends know about us, and we like feedback. So let us know what you think of the videos, and let us know what you think we should be doing next. But as always, I'm your host, D-Bake. This was the PFL Week 6 preview show. We're sponsored by 99 Jersey, Oddsjam, and High Tide Herbal. Check them out in the link in the bio. And let us know what you think. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for watching this episode of Cage My IQ on the Sports Box. Please remember to follow us on all of our social media outlets. On Facebook at Sportsbox Show, Twitter at Sportsbox Show, Instagram at The Sportsbox Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And also our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 free points. Thank you for joining us.